Alright, as promised, let's look at this with numbers. Automotive Components Inc. manufactures a batch of 40 engine starters through 3 processes. Each unit in the batch requires the following process times: machining 6 minutes, assembly 10, testing 8. In total, you've got 24 minutes here. Alright, now think about this. A batch of 40, that's kind of big, right? So think about it. So if you're trying to figure out how long it takes to make one item out of all that 40, right? If you've got a batch of 40 engine starters and you're working on the machining process, well, if you're only trying to decide how long does it take to make one starter, well, that starter is going to have to wait for the other 39 starters to get done in each process before, that's its non-value added time. That's the wasted time. Okay, so with that, there you go, more information, sorry. After machining, it takes 10 minutes to move the machine batch to assembly. It takes another 15 minutes to move the assembled batch to testing, Alright, well, we're not getting to the number yet. But the idea here is that there's some non-value added time right here with the 10 minutes and 15 minutes of transportation from one process to another. So right off the bat, you've got 25 minutes of non-value added lead time. Now, again, remember we were talking about the batches. Think about it. For 24 minutes, the batch is actually, the starter is actually being worked on. Okay? The 24 minutes is going back up, the 6 minutes it's being machined, 10 minutes in assembly, 8 minutes in testing. Right? So if you think about it, it takes one starter is machined for 6 minutes, it's assembled for 10 minutes, it's tested for 8 minutes. Right? But because you're in a batch, and if you're only making one, then that would be it, 24 minutes. But instead you're making 40. So it takes 24 minutes to make one, but because you're in a batch, you have to wait in that batch for the other 39 people, 39 starters to be made before you can move on and be considered completed. That 39 other time that's in the starter is going to be non-value added time. So you've got to wait for 39 other starters to go through the same process before you could be considered done. So you've got 39 starters, each taking 24 minutes apiece. That's all non-value added time. And that's where you come up with this calculation here. Right? 24 minutes times the batch size, 40 minus 1, which is the 39 other items, is 936 minutes. Plus the move between the processes, 25 minutes. So from the time that somebody orders a starter, from the time it gets out the door, is 985 minutes. Whereas only 24 of that 985 minutes is actually value-added time. The rest of the time, 936 minutes, the starter is sitting in a batch, waiting for the other starters to get done, plus the 25 minutes that is the transportation time between the processes. So if you think about this, only 2.5%, which is 24 over 985, 2.5% of the time is value-added time. 97.5% of the time in the process is non-value-added. Okay, so not good. Something you would definitely want to consider with a just-in-time philosophy. The only ways to fix this: have smaller batch sizes so they don't have to sit around for quite as long, right? Smaller batches, and also reduce this move time. Maybe you can locate the processes directly next to each other and you won't have to wait for the forklift guy to come and move things. Right? That's really the only calculations to this chapter. The rest of the information is more things that you can read about as you go through. Okay? So I hope you've enjoyed the class. Thank you.